In the educational system, new hires are shown around the building to get them acquainted with their new workplace by the administration team, the campus principal, and the assistant principal. Here is their story.
Our new school year, I'm very excited to have you join us at Texas ISD at Texas Middle School. I'm looking forward to seeing how you do this year and how you work with our English language learners. This year, we're starting something a little bit different. We're going to work with our sixth graders, but in a blended learning situation. So you're going to be one of five teachers who will be doing blended learning in their classroom. And you also have the technology built in your classroom as well to be able to do the blended learning. We are a one-on-one campus, so that means that every student does get a device, like a laptop and things. So you'll notice they'll come to school with a Chromebook. And we also have extra devices if you need them. So the next thing is I'm going to take you on a tour of the building. Our campus is a little unique. The buildings are a little older, but we've had some additions here as of late. So I'm going to take you to take a look at where you're going to be working, where your colleagues are going to be working, where your mentor teacher will be, as well as all the other classrooms like this 7th and 8th grade floor, and all the other rooms that we have available for content mastery, the book room, the sped room, any resources that you may need, we have that room available as well. I'm sorry we didn't get to meet in the conference room, but there's a lot of meetings going on, like our meetings and things like that. So right now we're sitting in a room that you can utilize to lesson plan and prep if you wish. All of these computers in here are connected to the copy machine that's just outside this door. So you're more than welcome to use that. We will give you a unique copy code, and everyone has their unique copy code with a specific count. The other thing is that I wanted to let you know is that you will be provided with more information as the summer rolls along. So keep an eye out on your email account to make sure that you receive that information, because you will get more info about your first day orientation for new teachers. So just make sure you have that ready. And I believe you guys are starting on day 1 in August. So you will probably spend a good part of that month working. So do you have any questions for me?
I know you mentioned something about a unique code to the printer.
Mm-hmm.
And so does that mean I have limited resources, or as far as the printer or paper?
Well, everyone has their set copy amount for each, not semester, but for each quarter. So that means that every 6 weeks, we will reset your count so that you have a new amount to work with. So I would recommend that if you do run out of copies, you find other ways to utilize the technology in your classroom, as well as the technology that your students have, because you will have the ability to send information through Google Classroom, because we are a Google Classroom building. So it will help with the copy count a little bit.
Okay, perfect. And one last question. I know you mentioned that students have technology. So is this something they get to take home?
Yes, this is something they get to take home. Each piece of technology in terms of the Chromebook is assigned to them. We do have iPads as well that they can use, but that usually we give that to the science lab just in case they want to do something interesting. But you are more than welcome to sign it out. It is part of the mobile part of classroom that we have available through the library. So you would have to go to them and sign out those devices out so that you can use them if you're doing something else in your classroom that requires them. So as far as the Chromebooks, we do also have an IT office that takes care of making sure that they're up and running, and that if we need to replace one, we have a person who can check them out and make sure that they either can be fixed, or if we need to send them back and get them fixed, that can be done too.
Oh my goodness, that sounds really exciting. And I really like this room, so a lot of teachers get to come in here and lesson plan and collaborate.
Yes, and we have more rooms where you can collaborate. This room's a little small, but because we're looking for you to be able to have that quiet time to prep your lessons and then print them out if you need to. But we have other larger rooms where you can actually collaborate with your team and work out whatever you need to work out for that 6 weeks or for that semester. So yeah, we do have plenty of space for you to work in and do your little PLCs during that time. And we also have large auditorium for large assemblies and things like that, when we need to get everyone together to discuss either instructional aspects of the day, or if we need to get the students together and talk to them about certain things that they need to know about. So we do have a lot of rooms. Like I said, it's a unique campus. It's kind of oriented in a special way. We try to use as much of the space as possible in a very effective manner. So you'll find some surprises as you go along this year, but I'm hoping to at least show you the basic idea of the layout of the building.
Oh, that's great. And I'm really looking forward to the roster and seeing who my students are, so I can maybe send out some letters to them and welcoming them to my classroom.
Oh, that's awesome, because we do encourage that all teachers communicate with parents on the very first day with something positive so they get to know them. And even just keep up with them, because they like to know what's happening in their classroom. You'll notice that the parents are very involved on this campus, and they really want to know how they can help their child at home and help you in the classroom. And especially since they're now coming to a blended learning situation, now they're going to be more involved because they can access some of this information not only through their child but on their own as well. So yes, I would highly recommend to contact them on the first day. The roster's not set yet though, because we're still accepting registrations at this time, and so you will get that closer to August. Probably sometime around the second week we'll have that ready to go, and we'll send it in an email to let you know when to come in to take a look at who your children are, and if you need to take a look at what they have in their cube folders, just in case you want more information about them. Because I know some teachers like to take a look at where they're coming from to know how they're going to set them up for success this year. So more till August. I would wait for more information at that time.
Okay, perfect. Yes, that gives me enough time to get my head where it needs to be as far as my students, so I can do the best that I can to service them. So I don't have any more questions.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the tour and.
All right, so I will. We will get started on that tour. Like I said, it's a unique orientation of the campus. We have it's kind of spread out a little bit. It's just to make it more to break the monotony for them. Sometimes they need to know that yes, we are in a structured situation, but there is room to grow, to breathe, to explore, and things like that. It is contained in such a way so that there aren't any issues coming to the campus. We do require all parents to come in and check in at the front office with their ID, and all the doors are locked, so you do have your own swipe card to get in and access the building at any time. And you will also receive your key here pretty soon to access your room at any time.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. So we'll get started on that, and I look forward to showing you where you're going to around where you're going to be working, the classroom area that you're going to be utilizing, and then where your team is going to be as well. I tried to keep them together as much as possible because I figured it'd be easier for you to ask questions and things like that. Excuse me, your mentor will actually be upstairs. She's the 7th grade ELAR teacher, and she's also the lead teacher for 7th grade. And so she will be your mentor for this year in case you have any questions regarding the subject area or just the building in general. But you can also talk to your lead teacher in 6th grade for what you need to know for that grade level as well. So they're very experienced teachers. I believe the 7th grade ELAR teacher is also a master reading teacher, so you will have a lot of resources through her as well.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, wonderful. So we're going to get started on the walking tour. So if you don't mind, you can leave your stuff here. The room is usually locked during the summer, but we all have access to it. And you also have an extra key for this room as well, just in case you decide to come in after hours. But if you have any questions during the tour, by all means ask. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Yes. At any time you can stop me and say, hey, can you, whatever you need to say is fine.
Perfect.
So let's get started. We're going to go out the door and we're going to start making our way to the 6th and 7th grade side of the building, and then we'll look at the 8th grade side of the building, and that way you get to see pretty much everything that we have to offer in terms of classroom, and then we're going to take a look at other areas such as the library and things like that. Okay, perfect. All right, wonderful. So we'll get started. So we're coming into where the classrooms are, and right now we're going to take a look at is the 6th grade hallway, and and where you're going to be working with your team. So we're going to start on the side, and we're going to take a look at where you're going to be working, and then where your team is also going to be working. Perfect. This is actually our AP for the building. This is Elsa.
Hi, Elsa Guerra. Nice to meet you. Welcome aboard.
Vargas, nice to meet you.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
She's very excited to do the blended learning that we've been talking about.
That's right. Yeah, the blended learning. Like I'm right here with our technology center and our crew, and right now we're going through our inventory of the Chromebooks that we'll be distributing to the students, updating the apps, and just making sure that everything is on par for the start of the school year.
Yes, we need that technology ready.
Yeah. We're excited to have you aboard, and you know, and I understand you're getting a tour of the building and everything today, but later on we'll sit down together to talk about your professional development plans for the year.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Right now we're doing summer school, so you're going to notice some classrooms are busy, some classrooms may be locked because they're also going in and doing the floors and making sure that everything is ready to go. So how's that going so far?
That's right. You know, the students may be gone, but we do stay busy. For instance, as we're preparing our inventory, we're also going through the classrooms, making any repairs that need to be made. It's a good time for the fire marshal to run their code, coming in, checking the drills in the building, and making sure that we're all in compliance with fire code. Also, you know, just reordering desk, and there are also some supplemental books that do go in materials with the class, so that's what we're looking into at this point. So it's a lot of behind the scenes work. So I should have some more information about your master schedule, because that's in the works as we're looking at enrollment throughout the summer. We'll have a little bit more specific idea of, you know, like when your conference is, when each subject area and what we're doing, and any exchange that may need to happen at that point, and team planning.
Yes. Like I said, we're still working on the schedule to make sure that everything flows all throughout the year. So we'll give you more information as we get closer, but Elsa and I are also going to be working really hard to make sure everything comes together.
Thank you. Well, we're happy to have you aboard. You are in good hands. This is one of our rock star educators here at our campus, and so you're in good hands. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, so this is the first. There's actually a class going on over there, but this is where a lot of assemblies will happen. We will also be meeting here for the first day of school, when we're meeting with all the teachers together and getting to know each other and doing activities. And also, some PDs will begin here, but they will also separate into other classrooms. So just to give you an idea as to where that may be when you're with your kids from class to class. We're going to move over here to the next room. So over here, this is one of the entrances that we have as well. Some of the students like to come in after recess from this side, and you can also bring your students in from recess from this side as well. It is locked from the outside, so you just need to swipe your card to get inside the building. And over here, what we have is a theater arts room. So if you need to, you can actually use it as a way to do reading activities. For example, if you want to put on plays as part of your curriculum or your lesson plans, then you can also take them in here and do some activities as well. If you have a theater arts teacher that is working with us as well, she can provide you with resources on how to use the room, any props that she has available, or any use of technology that she also has running in there as well.
And do all students have to take that elective, or is it a choice?
It's a chosen elective. Not many students not want to take, they usually want to take theater arts, but they have to take their prerequisite courses in order to do that. And for 6th graders, they have to get through their core content areas first. This is usually a 7th grade activity or elective, but we provide the 6th grade teachers with access to it to get them started and get them used to the idea of theater arts and how to read lines, and just to make the comprehension better before we start putting them in with the theater arts teacher, who will actually supplement what you're doing if you need her to, but also help the 7th and 8th grade teachers as she works her program as well. Perfect. So we're going to move on this side over here. I'm going to take a look at some of the other classrooms.
get to see where you will be working with your students and also where you're going to be working with your team. So the first room, we do have vending machines. We try as much as possible to stock it with some healthy snacks so that we can promote healthy eating in the building. This is the first classroom. This is actually going to be, you will be working, yes, this is the first classroom. So you'll be working in this classroom, and this is where you're going to be showing your students the reading curriculum that you're working with. It is being stocked right now with technology, which is why there's so many, when there's so many boxes in there. We've gotten a big delivery, so you're going to notice there will be people doing a few things in each of the classrooms. But this is your classroom right here, 103. And then here's 104. This is where your neighbor's going to be. Her name is, make sure I have her name right. I think it's Miss Nana is who is going to be in this one. She's the writing teacher, and I tried to keep you guys together in case you want to collaborate or talk about what you want to work on next and things like that. Here we do have some lockers. This is where you can keep some materials if you need to. We don't have very many lockers for students. They usually keep them inside the classroom. That way we can keep everything secured. So this is just for you and Miss Nana to use if you need to. Books, your materials, your articles of clothes, whatever you need, but you can keep that stuff in there.
Now, will Miss Nana and I be having the same schedule?
Yes, because I do want you guys to get together and plan together. I feel that if you and her can talk about the same types of use the same type of materials, talk about what she'd like you to read with them and what you would like them to write about, that you guys can work that out together. And you guys can actually peek around the corner and talk to each other about that as well.
Okay, I look forward to meeting her.
So we're gonna move over here. Here's the elevator for the upstairs. We typically don't allow students to use the elevator simply because it's a safety issue. So if you need to use the elevator, you do have the ability to access it. We typically want to use it for students who need that accessibility. Okay. This is the custodial closet, so that's where they will get their supplies. Here's the next classroom. This is room 104, and this is where you're going to find Mr. Maker. He teaches social studies. Like I said, I try to keep these subjects together in case you want to collaborate, because I feel like reading can also draw from social studies and pull from social studies. So he will be over here. At any time, you guys can get together and discuss the curriculum and work out your lesson plan so that you guys can collaborate with the students. I do have a common planning time for you guys so that you guys can work out that together. I don't want to promote any division and confusion, so as much as possible I try to keep all the grade levels scheduled with common planning time and then give them the time to actually work on that situation.
Okay, great. And I know you mentioned something about, I'll be attending the first year orientation.
Yes.
PD for first year teachers. So when will I actually get to meet faculty from my campus?
Okay, so we're actually going to have at the last week of July, we're going to get together as a campus and start to get to know each other. We're going to have a little barbecue in the recess area so we can start meeting each other and talking to each other about what's going on and where we've been and just shoot the breeze, socialize a little bit before we get in and start working in August 1st. So that's when we will actually have the mentors together to start get to know each other and meet each other. So you'll meet them at the end of July, probably sometime toward the end of that week on a Friday, just to make you more comfortable.
Okay, great.
So the next classroom is actually a big one because this is the science lab. This is where you're going to meet Mr. Mama. That's where he's going to have all his experiments, all of his classes, and if you have any reading material that also delves into science, you are more than welcome to share the classroom with him and do some cross-curricular activities.
Yes.
So it's a pretty big room right now. It's kind of messy because they're still going in there and working out some kinks with the technology, but this is where the science room is going to be. Behind you is the bathroom in case you need to use it, and on the other side is the bathroom. So
so he would have to actually go around the corner to use the restroom, and then you would have to come on this way. But yes, the only other classroom that we need to take a look at is Mrs. Bath's room. She's the math teacher, and we try to give her a large room as well because sometimes she wants to conduct experiments that will also include mathematics, and she's been pretty good about that. And the students are very excited about her classroom usually when they learn what kinds of things they're working on with her. So we're going to actually go to the other side and take a look at her classroom. So you're also going to meet your mentor. Her name is Mrs. Blair, and she is very happy. And like I said, I provided you with the information you need in order to be successful during the year in the building. So let's head on over to Mrs. Bass. Like I said, her room is fairly large so that you get a chance to hear this. So you get a chance to see what they do. So you can actually peek in here and see a little bit of what her classroom looks like. She tries to, as much as possible, keep a open situation with lots of tables and lots of movable chairs, and she likes to work with them in groups, and so that's why we gave her the big room for math. And she also likes to have them move around a good bit. So that way the kids don't get bored, they don't get anxious, because sometimes we have kids with math and anxiety. And so this is her classroom. So the whole floor pretty much is either theater arts, gym, or content areas for 6th grade. So you guys actually have the whole floor pretty much. And then we have the IT office on the other side. It's amazing. So we're going to take this building. Do you? I'm excited. I'm happy that you like it. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the 7th grade floor, and we're going to see what classrooms are there. I'm still trying to sort out where I'm going to place each person, but for the most part, the classrooms are pretty similar in the way that they're organized and the layout of the room. So let's go on and take the elevator and take a look at those rooms. Right here, if you see behind you, this is the testing room. This is where we keep our star test supplies. This is the room that's usually locked. So you don't let anybody in there. Elsa and I are usually the ones that are organizing and distributing the tests. So when you have to pick up your test, that's the room you're going to go to. Pick up your star materials. So this is the 2nd floor. This is where most of the 7th grade is going to be housed as well. We do have an art room that we have up here, so we try to keep them separate so that the whole building can utilize it. We also have other rooms in the building that you get to use. For example, a computer lab. It's actually housed up here, and that way the grade levels can use it. We have, I believe, 2 computer labs on this floor, and then we also have more computer labs in the library that we can use. So we're going to start on this side. This is the science room that we're going to give to the 7th grade teacher, and this is where the students are going to come to either conduct science class activities, or if the math teacher or the reading teacher wishes to use the science lab, they can come here and use that equipment as well. It's especially equipped for science, meaning there are lab tables, Bunsen burners, and sinks and things like that. So that's where they're going to be right there. And then moving over here, this is the next room. This is the art room, and we're going to be having a lot of students come here and engaging in art activities. And so it's actually arranged similar to Mrs. Bath's room, which is the math room. We give them large tables to work with, but it also has the cabinets and the sinks for art activities. So that's what we have going on.
Where'd you go?
This is the supply room. We usually keep this one locked. And so if you need anything, you just have to make sure you make a request ahead of time. That way you know what to get for you. And we usually leave it on your desk or in your room somewhere. That way you can use that material that you requested. If there's anything that we don't have, we try as best as we can to get it for you. But for the most part, it's a big room. We have a lot of the materials you may use, and we're still stocking it as well. But yeah, that's the room we would go to. over here, what you see here, this is where the mailboxes are usually. We have 2 of them, one downstairs and one upstairs. That way, if you need anything, you can just access it from here. It's usually locked because we want to make sure that you can get to it. So if you need something, you have access to that with the key. In the summer months as well, it'll be locked. So the next room that we're going to come to is going to be the counselor's office. And so this is where the students are going to come to if they need anything, they need to sort out any issues that they need to have a discussion with the counselor. We also begin our 504 meetings here. The room is actually fairly big. It's a seating room based on the door, but here's where they're going to, that we're going to go and conduct some of our meetings if we need to, or any 504 meetings. We also have other rooms in case this one's busy. So don't be surprised if we ask you to go to the main office or even the library, because we also have large conference rooms there too.
You have any questions so far?
Well, I know, so this is where the art is.
Yes.
So will I be notified, or will someone pick up information I need to attend an art meeting?
Yes, so basically we email you ahead of time to let you know when the meeting's going to happen. That way you can put it on your calendar. And then once the meeting occurs, we will send somebody up to cover your class. And then you can come to the meeting, and that way we have all our bases covered that way. If it's after school, we would let you know at the time so you can make arrangements after school. And if it's before school, we do the same.
Okay, that's good. I know I have another question. I know as far as the students that may have 504s, will I be getting a folder from someone letting me know who they are?
Yes,
And when will that happen?
you will actually be scheduled to meet with the 504 coordinator as well as the sped coordinator. That way you know who's in their caseload for your classroom. And you'll get to know their file and you'll get to know them as a student. We have some students you're going to probably have to meet ahead of time so they know who you are before the classroom situation.
Yes.
So we don't have any issues pop up. So it'll probably happen the first week of school when we start setting that up for you. And we also help you to get in contact with parents so they get to meet you as well. We will be having an open house as well so that they can see what the classroom will look like before school starts. So we're going to try as much as possible to plan ahead of time. For you to meet the children and meet the parents for those students who need to be prepared for the situation they're about to get into for the year.
All right, perfect.
So we're going to move over to the next room, and this room here, this is the computer lab, and this is where the second floor will be going to use the computers. The first floor also has access if the first floor computer lab is busy. So for all intents and purposes, we need to make sure that we also schedule time for the computer lab. That way we don't have any conflicts between teachers about when they want to use it, what time is it best for them, things like that. We will post something here, but we will also have an electronic version on the calendar for you to use. That way it's equitable for everyone. So I believe the 7th grade one will have a posted list, and the 6th grade one will have an electronic list, because you are the blended learning team. Right. So coming over this way, looking at the SPED resource office, and this is where a lot of the discussions about the students who are classified will be, and as well as the 504 students. They all work together. It's another big room, and so we try to give them that space in case they need to pull students in and talk to them. We need to work with them. So that's why it's actually a large classroom, but we have it formatted for office space and for teaching. So there are blackboards and things. So here's another restroom. This is for the second floor. The men's room is on this side, and the women's room is on the other side. So it's pretty much the same as the same as the last time. And then over here, you start seeing one of the classrooms for the teachers in the 7th grade hall. And so on this side we have math, and on this side we have reading. And so they get to collaborate. your mentor will be in this classroom. And if you want, you can take a peek into that classroom and take a look at how it's set up. That way you have an idea as to what one of the rooms that you'll be working with look like. Now, we do have some tables in here, and so you can move those tables around if you need them to work in groups or have a discussion that involves them to be more intimate rather than scattered or in columns and rows and things like that. You do have your desk here. It's not a traditional teacher's desk. We're trying as much as possible not to let teachers anchor themselves to their desks, but to move around the classroom. That way they can facilitate learning. You do have a projector at the top, and then there's a button that pulls it down on its own. You have on-desk cameras, a stationary computer, and we will also assign you a computer to take home to do the work that you need to do at home if you need to.
Yes, this is very large classrooms.
Yes, we try to make it large enough for you to be able to move around it, because we're trying to facilitate not only movement, but just getting involved in the learning as much as possible. So making the room larger is even better, because if you don't need the tables, you can move them aside. If you need the tables, you can set them up appropriately to make sure that you have all access to every student at all times. So for the next one, we have this classroom here. Actually, this is the same classroom there in the 2 doors here. This is the next classroom here. And this is the classroom that we'll probably give to the social studies teacher. And this is where they will be stationed as they work with their students. Like I said, I try to keep the teachers as close as possible. I may rearrange them around a little bit, except for the science teacher, because their room is specifically made for science. But they, everyone still has access to that. And then we're going to be looking at, well, this is breezeway to the second floor, and this will lead to the 8th grade classroom. So at any time, the 8th graders can come over here to use the science, not the science room, the computer lab if they need to, or they can use their mobile devices, meaning that we have them using their own devices, or if the teacher needs to check out extra devices, she can do that as well. And then we have the reading teacher, and she will be over here. And this is where they're going to have lessons. Like I said, we try to keep the rooms as big as possible so that they can move around and get the kids involved in the group. We have extra rooms for pull out, and we try to divide those rooms in half so that way we can utilize as much space as possible for specific content areas, like we have a content mastery for math, content mastery for science, especially for those tested grades that they need to work on those subjects on. So the rest of the classroom over here on this side, we are all using them for other activities. We're thinking about bringing other electives to the building as well to get students more involved in enrichment, teaching activities. For the most part, that's pretty much the whole hallway for the 7th grade. We're going to move to the 8th grade hallway, and I'm going to show you where the book room is and other materials you may need to use for your classroom and your content area. Okay. So here we are in the 8th grade hallway, and we're going to take a look at some of the classrooms that are here. Like I said, some of them are locked, and some of them are conducting summer school. So just keep that in mind if we don't go to the classroom. But this is one of the classrooms here that you get to take a look at. And like I said, they're fairly big rooms, and we try to keep tables in there so they get to sit together and work together, or move them around if they need the space to do any activities. This is actually the 8th grade reading room. That way they can work on their activities there. And then across the hall we have the math room. This is where they're going to be able to work on their math activities. So that way, if they need to collaborate, they're fairly close together, especially if there are some cross-curricular activities they want to engage in. And then down here is where the computer lab is for this section of the floor. So we pretty
Okay.
accessible rooms for all students to access the internet as well as teachers if they need to really quickly. The copy room for this section is also up here, so if you need to use the copy machine, because the one downstairs is busy, we have one over here. We also have one in the hallway.
That's nice.
And all the teacher computers are connected. You just have to figure out which copy machine you're using.
Do students have access to the printers?
They have access to the printers through you, so basically what happens is if they want to print something, they'll put it in the print queue, it'll be sent to you first, and you can authorize it to be printed. That way you get to identify whether they're printing too many pages, because sometimes they don't realize that they're printing 50 pages.
Yes.
And if you need to, you can cancel that. It does not go against your copy count, so you can keep that in mind. This is just when it's coming from the student and it's going to the copier, it's just going to the copier.
Okay.
Okay. So here are the elevators to go back downstairs to the main office if you need to. Water fountains, we have the mechanical room, and we also have access to a charging station here in the hallway, just in case students need to charge their phones as they're waiting for a class to start or anything like that. We're thinking about getting rid of them only because they do pose a distraction for students, and so we're still, Elsa and I are still considering our options for that situation, especially since we're one-on-one anyway. They don't really need to charge their phones
Yes.
unless, it's an emergency, but at the same time, they really should have that ready in their backpacks, so. So over here, we have the book room, and this is where you're going to go to select any kits, any extra novels you want to do. If you want to do a literature circle, you can go over here and work on that with your collaborating teacher, like your writing teacher, or you can come here with Mrs. Flair, your mentor, and take a look at what options you have and what you can do with these books if you need ideas.
Yeah.
And there are also some meeting rooms in there, so you guys can come in as a grade level and meet and plan your lessons as a group. And you can go downstairs into the computer lab for the teachers and plan your lessons there if you wish, or in your classroom if you have access to the computer. And then over here, we have the next grade classroom. And so pretty much similarly set up as the ones you saw down the hall. I'm trying to make sure that we have all the devices in this classroom as well, because this will be the science room for the 8th grade hallway. If the 8th graders wish to use the science room, there is one behind us. They can move over to that room because we have plenty of space in this section of the building. But this is just a classroom in case you want to work on exams and things like that. They can do that here. And then in this hallway, it's actually a U-shaped hallway. It'll come up on the other side. This is where a lot of the other content mastery classroom will be, as well as the peer mediation room, and we also have the other guidance counselors' offices down here as well. So if you can't find something that you need in terms of the personnel, Mrs. Flair is available, or your lead is also available as well.
This is a very large building.
Yes, it is a very large building. We're very proud of it. We want to make sure that we can facilitate learning for all students in different ways. I mean, even our library is pretty unique. They have exercise bikes for the students in case they need to get their brains jump-started. They can hop on one of them with their books and start pedaling and getting some of that excess energy out, or wake up if they need to. So it's a pretty interesting layout for the building that we have going on here. Over here, I wanted to point out, these are the restrooms. There's the men's room on this side, or the children's boys' room, and the girls' room's on the other side. And this is the teacher's room, teacher's restroom, and it's usually locked. And if you need to open it, you will have access to that as well with the key. The reason why we lock is because we don't want any students to get stuck in there or hide in there or anything like that.
Okay.
So we keep that one locked, but you do have access on your key. You're going to get a fairly large amount of keys, but for the most part, everyone figures out which is which and how to use which one. So that's it for this section. We're going to move over to take a look at the cafeteria and the gym and the libraries. That way you're familiar with where they are. Right now the cafeteria is closed because they are working on the floors and they are doing inventory as well and training the cafeteria staff for the summer. But we'll take a look at at least the outside, and you'll get to see the recess room.
Okay, great.
So this is where our cafeteria is. You'll have to actually walk them to the cafeteria. It's right here, and behind the cafeteria is the recess lot. And so once they're done, there is a back door that they're going to use in order for you guys to access the recess lot. We try to get them moving as much as possible and getting on the sunshine. Over here behind you is the gym, and so if you have any gym activities, you'll be able to take them from gym to the cafeteria. So we'll see how I'm going to organize the schedule to see if we can get all of the grade levels in that rotation where they go from the gym to the cafeteria. They'll be pretty hungry right after that. And then right after that, they'll go outside and they'll play. We're going to also take a look at the other building next to that. If you look at that building, that's where we came from. In the building behind it will be the library. And we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. But for the most part, that's pretty much the layout of our campus. Do you have any questions?
No, I just really look forward to, taking my students over from the gym, over to the lunchroom, and looking at how I'm going to be walking around this building and what's
I'm
going to
rubbing
be
my baby on you.
But other than that, no.
Okay. If you have anything, if you've thought of anything after we've separated, just email me and let me know. I'm more than happy to either meet with you again and talk about what we have going on here, what the layout looks like, or give you another tour. I highly recommend that you walk around the building and get to know it a little better. That's usually how you become more familiar with the layout of the building, is by just taking some time to explore. You're more than welcome to come back to campus at any time during the summer to do that. The keys will be, like I said, sent to you, not sent to you, but you'll come sign them out soon. Okay. And then when that happens, you have full access to the building and the classroom. Awesome. So I'm glad to meet you. We're going to walk right back to the office. That way you can collect your things. And if by that time you have questions, you're more than welcome to.
Well, now that you're asking, I do have a question. As far as professional development, will I be sent off, or will there be any professional development during the school year?
Yes. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to have our counselor email you the list of professional developments that we have on the campus this summer and in the district. You get to choose which one you'd like to do. That way you come up to the first day of school pretty much ready for what you're going to do. There are a few that we do require you to take, and so we'll have those highlighted for you already. Especially as a first year teacher, we want to help get you the leg up on that as well. So that'll be coming out in maybe 2 more weeks. They'll be ready, and when you do, you can start signing up. You'll also be given some information on how to log into Eduphoria to do that, and then from there you'll get to know where to go, what time they meet, what types of professional developments that are available and which sections are available, but they're mostly going to be in the district. Usually at the high school, we do have a couple of them here as well.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. I will be conducting one here in the building for a professional development for what you're going to be doing.
Okay.
In terms of the blended learning piece that we're implementing in your classroom and in your team as well. So be ready with that for that, because that email will be coming out probably sometime later this week.
Okay, good.
So let's move on back, and we will be collecting our things, and any other questions you may have, we'll answer it there. Okay, perfect. Thank you. You're welcome.